Hi everyone, it's your Simmer here. Welcome to Project Hospital. I am continuing here, just trying to get familiar with this sim. Definitely enjoyed my first visit here. We got through the first couple tutorials. There's one more left, so that's where we're headed now. Alright, so we're going to get through these. I do think this is a sim I'm really going to enjoy because it kind of speaks to the data geek inside me. Definitely seems to have some just depth to it. I was surprised by how the characters just kind of do everything. Even in an exam, they like go to the supply cabinet, wash their hands, put things in the biohazard container. So I've heard it's a pretty realistic healthcare sim, and there's nothing I've seen that makes me think otherwise in the hour we spent with it last time. So let's see how things go this time. Alright, hi boss. With diagnosing and building out of the way, we know that you need one more talent that also might need a little refreshment. Let's take a closer look at hospital management. You can start with department management. Go ahead and switch to department management mode. This mode gives you all the information about your selected department. Assign staff and rooms. It also acts as a checklist for making the department work. You can choose who will be the chief doctor. Be careful with this selection. It can have a big effect on the overall productivity of your employees. Yeah, certainly if you think about it, anybody who's in the working world, you understand. Whoever is in charge kind of sets the culture. Certainty level is an important setting for diagnostics. It determines how careful the doctors are when selecting a final diagnosis and how carefully they look for hidden symptoms. That is an intriguing idea. We'll definitely have to see how that works. Workspaces consist of a desk, a chair, and a PC, and when built correctly, they will show up in management mode. You hire your employees through them. They show both day and night shift. I think we've seen a little bit of this in the previous tutorial. Let's have a look at your hiring options. Click on an empty workspace without the portrait to open up the hiring card. I see. Okay. There are 4 staff categories: doctors, nurses, technologists, and janitors. You can see their experience levels, skills, and their requested salary. Also, the character perks can make a big difference and are often hidden. If you're not happy with the candidates, a hiring agency will be happy to provide you with a new list or uncover hidden perks for a fee. You can hire an employee by clicking on their portrait. You can also assign any workplace from the employee card. After hiring an employee, you can see their allowed roles in their workspace, Let's have a closer look at your staff. Open any of your employees' cards. Click either on Occupied Workspace in Management Mode or directly on Employee in Game Mode. So let's zoom in here so we can see a little bit. Let's see. Who looks interesting? Let's see what she's doing. Every employee has a few different statistics: their level, skills, and specializations. For technologists and nurses, there are 3 experience levels. For doctors, 5. Different specializations get available as the employees level up. So she happens to be a nursing intern, it looks like. Skills are fixed for each type of personnel, but get improved by being used. You can learn more about individual skills and tool tips. So there we go. Nurse is capable of providing various types of patient care. Probably a good thing. Specializations give the opportunity to work at certain departments or rooms and allow the employee to perform specific examinations or treatments. Let's see, what if I change? That's a nursing intern. Okay, I see. So these are just all nurses. Alright, so there we go. I want to look at a doctor to see what things look like. And I'm thinking this salary is daily. And I'm thinking they might be kind of realistic because nurses were around 100. So if you think about, they work a full shift, they're, nurses, I've heard, contrary to popular belief, especially when they're starting out, that's an intern. She's getting a little over $10 an hour. That might be kind of a normal thing, but we'll see. Specializations give the opportunity to work at certain departments or rooms and allow the employee to perform specific examinations or treatment. Doctors can have 1 or 2 specializations. The first one allows basic work at a certain department and is available for all residents, level 2. The second one is usually related to surgery or diagnostic and available for fellows. So I think this did say that when I highlighted her, I think it did say fellow. It does. So that's why we have 2 here. Employee roles give you the option to control which task each employee is allowed to perform. This way you can make sure that you have staff available when they are really needed, for example, for surgery. Let's take a quick look at management tools for the whole hospital. Open Hospital Management card by clicking on any of the categories in the main panel. Okay, I see. Okay, this card contains 5 categories. Can I move it? Alright, cool. I like that during the tutorial things aren't like frozen. Department statistics, insurance, ambulances, budget, and statistics. Check them often because they will give you feedback you need for running an efficient hospital. Alright, so we can see workload, day, night. Yeah, there's just a ton of detail here. So staff satisfaction, and then history of statistics. So let's see, no insurance companies. Looks like we've got a couple ambulances. There's our budget. They're all there for the data geek. And then statistics, so some more charts, so forth. All right. Departments, okay, the patient table, the staff table. All right, so there you go. So you can see like tons of detail. So we're in the emergency department, hence the signal. So we've got some residents, some interns, several nursing interns. So again, just lots of stuff. What shift they're on, their specialization that we talked about, what level they're at. So we've got a lot of, well, the interns would be basic, but it looks like John and Fraser are our folks. I think we were looking at Jane Brown, the fellow. So we've got 1 specialist on nights, 1 specialist during the day. You know, but I would imagine, again, as I look through this, they're both quite old and maybe getting ready for retirement. So it'll be interesting, like how that type of thing works in the game. So anyway, I can go down a rabbit hole here and we'll just never leave. So, oh goodness, I hope they're going to explain this, because this looks interesting. It's a dependency tree. I kind of figured it was that, but alright, we'll figure that out as we go. Now on to the fun part. Our hospital needs a functional hospitalization process at the general surgery department. Switch to department management and select general surgery department. Check what rooms are missing at general surgery department and build them. Remember that rooms with red numbers next to them are mandatory. Tooltips for rooms on the list provide some extra information. Alright, so it looks like we have all the rooms, although high dependency unit. Okay, so I guess we need a high dependency unit. See, so I'm confused about this, but it's pointing here, because like this is showing me, but I think, oh, because maybe this is the clinic. Alright, so we need an HDU. Let's see. Now I have to remember how to do things. So if I want to build a room, so we've got walls. How quickly we forget. So the high dependency unit needs to be 4 by 3. I mean, I'm assuming I can I put it in here? I just don't know that I want the big room. Alright, so we've got missing equipment. So it's going to need a doctor and a nurse. And then we need to check on the room marker. So if I'm here, okay. So we need a lot of things. So the orange things are things that are required. The yellow things are things that we don't necessarily need. Let's see. Do we want a hospital bed or a modern hospital bed? Oh, it's a tutorial. Let's go crazy. We're not worried about our money right now. So we're going to rotate this. So when it's red, patients can't get to it. The arrows also show you how they can access them. So we've got a bed. And then we need a defibrillator unit. So we'll put that. Let's see. I think I need to turn that. Oh, I'm not in the room. There we go. So that's on the wall. So we've got the defibrillator handled. Life monitor, vital signs. This one looks good. So let's rotate this. Maybe put it on the wall by the bed. There we go. And then a bed socket can be attached to the hospital bed. So let's see. Does it go at the end? I don't understand. Well, it's letting me put it there, so I'll do that. And then we need a bedside cabinet. Can be attached to the hospital bed. So I think we're good. And so in theory, we have what we need, but I'm not sure if we do. So this is where we need to go here. So there's something missing still. This is the problem I had before. Oh wait, but I need a doctor and a nurse or something, right? See, because this is now telling me again that the bed is, whoops. So what if I don't understand. What if I put the bed like that? See, because it's not, like I had this problem with the PC. Let me see, is there anything else that's needed? No. But this is the challenge that I think exists with this game, is sometimes you're like just trying to figure out what you're doing. So I'm going to move the defibrillator unit closer. Does the bed socket have to be... See, it's like it seems like I should be near the wall. But yet it wasn't letting me do this. Alright, so the problem was I had the bedside table, or the bedside cabinet, put the wrong way. Alright, so there we go. So now the HDU went green. So that's some of the detailed challenges here. It's just building things out. It's time to hire a surgeon for the day shift in the on-call room. If you hover over the professions, tooltips will advise you which specialization is required. They can be filtered in the hiring card. All of the red warning signs must be dealt with to have clinic and hospitalization functional. So you can see we've got a red surgeon. So for the day shift, so am I missing? Like, where is the surgeon? Okay, so there's a doctor. So there we go. So we need a surgeon. General surgery. Well, I'm going to assume he's the best guy. Alright. Now that we have working hospitalization, the ambulance will bring us our first patient. This should be only a minute. So again, this is like where this sim gets a bit crazy sometimes. So this is our new person. Michael Hernandez. They're filling free time. Jordan is idle. I heard an ambulance. Let's see. There it is. So there's a patient. Alright, let's pause the game. Okay. So you can select the patient easily and take the patient under your care. So I want to go here. Now let us follow the patient through our hospitalization process. This can start at the emergency department with observation or trauma hospitalization. Patients get admitted for observation when there is no clear diagnosis and the patient could have one or more dangerous symptoms. Once the diagnosis is clear, the patient gets treated and sent home or hospitalized at a specialized department. So we can see here they've got hypovolemic shock, which I don't know what that is. It's a life-threatening condition due to blood pressure being too low to sustain sufficient blood flow. Well, that sounds pretty bad. An abdominal injury, blood loss, and an open wound. So this seems to be the biggest thing. Now it says, does it say they're intubated? And then there are 2 hidden symptoms. Okay. When the patient goes to an observation room, following examinations will be done by the on-call room staff, and your doctor in the doctor's office at the clinic will take another case. Trauma Center is an essential unit for handling different types of traumas and accidents, and most critical cases that your ambulances bring to the hospital arrive here. Trauma Center works the same way as the observation room. As long as the diagnosis is not clear, the patient will be examined here. Now let's go back to our patient on their way to the Trauma Center. Try to find out what is wrong and reach a clear diagnosis. Alright, well, they have an open wound in their abdomen, as it said. So, definitely something going on. Alright, so we can go ahead and do let's do a physical examination. That's always a good thing. Okay, so Susan Lopez. Now, who is the doctor? Okay, he's the doctor. So she was just performing, so now you can see, like, he's going to the cabinet, he's doing stuff. She's bleeding a lot. So yeah, there's this weird language they have. Alright, let me go back to the patient, because otherwise I won't know when they're done. You know, so right now there's about an equal chance of 4 different diagnoses. And then once again, we talked about, you know, we're at a medium type of thing that's going on as far as the assurance that they've zeroed in on things, but when it's done, it'll give us some information. So he's going back to the cabinet, and you can obviously speed things up, you know, once we're already playing normally. But yeah, it looks like this is hospital room 2. Alright, so I guess he's still doing, oh, I see, now he's doing the physical examination. I think basically it was, they were doing the other things. Now TC Trauma Center accepts the required rooms at Trauma Center. Alright, that's the active treatment. So I assume this is our Trauma Center. But this is where, yes, I'm definitely kind of overwhelmed as to everything we have. Alright, so there we go. Scheduled procedures finished. Nothing has changed, so the patient is waiting. So that means I need to do something else to determine. So like they need abdominal surgery, thoracic trauma surgery. Oh goodness. What should be? So what's fast? Sonograph. Oh, well, there's no discomfort here. Let's do that. That seems like it would be something. You know, just doing the ultrasound. I think that's what ultrasonography is. We're just used to an ultrasound, so I'm guessing this is an ultrasound technician, maybe, performing fast. Oh no, this is the fellow. So this is Jane that we looked at earlier. So she's gonna do that, and then I would think that maybe they'll be able to tell, like, if there's a liver laceration or something. Now we have one, so there's a severe hemorrhage is the new thing, actually. So we did find one of the hidden symptoms. So that actually helps, but it just didn't get us down to what the real problem is. You know, and we don't have too many active or available examinations, because that was the other thing we had Like, sometimes the diagnoses when people came in, there were 23 pages. So there were like hundreds of diagnoses available. Alright, so there we go. A penetrated spleen rupture. So it would seem that now they need abdominal surgery. So, but I can't give them because surgery can only be performed. Okay, now let's reach back to try to find what is wrong. Okay, because I have to do the diagnosis. That's right. With a clear diagnosis, the patients get hospitalized at specialized departments. Every department has two types of inpatient rooms, regular or HDU hospitalization. So we built the HDU. Regular ward is suitable for patients without any risk of life-threatening conditions. High dependency unit, okay, that's what HDU means, is suitable for patients in risk of collapse or life-threatening conditions. They are generally equipped with life monitors to keep an eye on the vital functions of their patients. If patients collapse, they can be sent to ICU to be connected to life support and to get continuous care. Intensive care unit is not only a hospitalization type, but also a standalone department. So what's the next step for our patient? Let's switch the department. Check the tooltip on the diagnosis to see which department is capable of treating it. Okay, so the general surgery department. Okay. So I go here, and then I put them there. Let's wait for our patient to be transferred to their room. The room was chosen based on the severity of your patient's symptoms. You can follow the patient by clicking the hidden cross over the bottom left corner of their portrait. Oh, I see. Okay, well, let's do that. That's cool. I did not know that. Alright, well, she's now worth $2,300 to us, where initially she was worth $0, so I'm not sure if you noticed that here on the payment. So the active treatments at HDU hospitalization, so I assume that HDU we just built in general surgery is where they are headed. So they're going, I see, into an elevator. And then do we change floors or something? I assume that's an elevator. Okay, so yeah, I guess we changed floors. Interesting. So that's, man, she is bleeding everywhere. That poor janitor's gonna have to clean things up. Alright, but there's our HDU. They had to figure out how to negotiate around what we built. Alright, so hospitals work around the clock, and there are a few important times in the daily schedule. Doctors' rounds happen every morning when the doctors visit their patients and order additional examinations. Nurses check the patients regularly, more often at HDU and ICU. They can notice dangerous symptoms and notify the doctors so the patients get examined. Nurses also deliver meals and medicine in various forms as prescribed. And when everything goes horribly wrong, well, sometimes that happens even if you do everything right, and patients will die. Note, death can be turned off in options. The patients will be transferred away instead. Well, that wouldn't seem very simmy, very realistic. So, treat our patient. Suppress all high-hazard symptoms. Some might be still hidden, but they're not, so the spleen rupture was the hidden one. Notice some icons are pulsing. Okay, so severe hemorrhage and blood loss, which is what's happening in the hallway. The patient might collapse and die if you don't prescribe the correct treatments. Well, that just isn't scary at all. Okay, a pressure bandage. So let's do that. So now they have that, and then someone's going to come do that. Okay, blood loss needs a blood transfusion. So we'll put both of those in. So I assume we will now take care of that. And yes, they do use the restroom in the game and so forth. It's interesting. So, like, it is a sim. Alright. So, whoops, we want to follow her, right? Yes. So let's see where they're taking her. confused. Why are they doing this in this room? Wouldn't they do that? Because I haven't, like, picked abdominal surgery yet. Because this sure looks like an operating room to some degree. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. But they know what they're doing. They are the hospital staff. So, alright, I guess she's done. So who is she? Judy Barkley. She's the specialist, so she's now doing what? On standby for critical... Okay, I'm confused. Oh, okay, so she did... Alright, so I guess we got both the blood transfusion. Well, it says we did, but this is still pulsing. So I don't understand. Because, yeah, they're coming back to the room. I mean, the good news is, yes, we're not dripping blood all over the floor, so at least they got that done. But, yeah, I would think the transfusion would take place in the room. Okay, so scheduled procedures have finished. The patient is waiting. Alright, well, it didn't say that they were done with blood transfusion, because it's still pulsing. So I'm thinking they're not done yet. And that's why I can't do something, so... Although, the blood loss has stopped pulsing. Alright, so at this point, I guess we need abdominal surgery. So, we will do that. Alright, hopefully we have covered all the important parts of hospital management and hospitalization, and now we can focus on why we requested your help. Please meet us in our next hospital. Alright, so at this point, I think I'm going to call it an episode because I don't want to start something that I don't know how involved it is, because campaign does not sound small. So I think I want to go ahead and do that next time. But at this point, I know enough to be dangerous. I'm probably like an intern at the hospital. Maybe not even that much, other than I have access to lots of buttons, so it's a powerful intern. So we'll be trying that, but you can see, I've covered this in the beginning, but basically there's campaigns, there's sandbox, there's scenarios, and then there's the 3 DLCs and so forth that we have. So, you know, you can do all kinds of things that we'll explore and learn about over time. So sandbox, obviously, you're starting empty, clinic, hospital, big hospital, medium hospital, but it looks like 9696 is kind of the biggest we can get. And scenarios, I think, you get off of the Steam workshop. But definitely very, very intrigued by this game. Hope you are as well, and hope you'll join me next time.